A Changed Mind by David Bayer. Why it's going to be difficult for you to change until your sympathetic nervous system calms down. I really relate to David Bayer's story in many different ways. He grew up with trauma, addiction, and identity collapse, including homelessness and substance misuse. He hit repeated rock bottoms, cycling through fear, shame, and self-sabotage. He discovered that traditional positive thinking failed him because his nervous system was always stuck in survival mode. He shifted focus from motivation to identity and subconscious pattern rewiring. He built his work around one core idea. You don't change behavior first, you change the nervous system state that drives behavior. I can just hear him talking right now. There's so many concepts that he has that I've inspired from. Definitely watch his channel and view his content. He's very inspirational. And I'm so grateful that he affected me in so many good ways, talking about how the sympathetic nervous system and you talking from, I believe he says this, the primal brain or the emotional mind, where you're operating from anxiety, stress, resentment, and judgment. Where you can lower the sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight, the adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine. You can effectively act from the parasympathetic nervous system, which would be a place of joy, excitement, and welcoming and curiosity. Let's talk about some core ideas from A Changed Mind. Number one, your identity is stored subconsciously, not intellectually. I talk about this in Mind Hygiene as well, which is supported by medical evidence, which is a process, a writing tool where you believe in yourself every second. But if you don't know what you don't believe in, it's going to be impossible. David Bayer talks about this too, is self-limiting beliefs. If you can understand your self-limiting beliefs, understand that identity, then you can change. I don't mind the word change, but I like to use the word inspire. But if change helps you, I would use that. Change did help me, but sometimes I would feel some resentment towards it. Let me change and inspire instead of let me change and fix. Let me change and accept instead of let me change and overcome. Those didn't work for me, but this could work for you. But your identity is stored subconsciously, and until you write it down, or you can watch David's content too and see how he can inspire you. In my life, if I hadn't written it down over and over multiple times, I wouldn't have understood it. Number two, willpower fails when the sympathetic nervous system is dominant. Man, I'm so stressed out. I'm so anxious. Let's say you have 20 tabs open on your computer. You have some coffee. You got to go somewhere. You got to take your dog out on a walk. You got to clean the cat litter. I mean, it's so overwhelming, right? Let's say you manifest something. Well, you're going to be manifesting from a place of stress, anxiety, and lack. But if you say, look, I've done this before, I can do it again. Lower the cortisol. Look, I have a bond with my pets, oxytocin. Now, people can think about this as positive, but I don't view emotions as positive or negative. I just accept them without judgment. And when you do that, you'll be able to enhance your willpower to do things and manifest simple things. People want to manifest money. They want to manifest a partner. I think that's great, but manifest this first. I'm going to have one tab open and I'm going to operate from the parasympathetic nervous system. I'm going to clean my cat's litter box. They're going to like it. I love them. Now, what you're doing is you're shifting the identity from what I like to call neurochemical prison to neurospiritual sovereignty. Neurochemical prison is, man, I'm stressed out, sympathetic nervous system, adrenaline, cortisol. Instead, neurospiritual sovereignty. Neurobiology is relaxed. Spiritually, I'm connected to God, the universe, higher power, and I'm sovereign from it. I'm emotionally free. Number three, lasting change requires safety before strategy. When you can feel safe, this is a very important thing. For those that don't feel safe or under somebody else's control completely, I was listening to an audiobook on emotional intelligence just yesterday about this. When you have no control over anything that you're doing, that can be difficult. But if you have some type of addiction to drugs, alcohol, to gambling, you can control that relatively. You can say, no, I'm not going to do it for 1 second. And now you have a changed mind. Number four, repetition and emotional regulation rewires identity faster than insight. Imagine this. You're overweight, or you're not in good shape, or you don't feel healthy. Well, let me go to the gym. Let me eat less. Let me work out. You have to keep on repeating that. And the more you repeat it, the more emotional freedom and stability you're going to have. And there's no time off. That's the biggest, and David Goggins talks about this. There is no time off. There's no like, oh, but it's the winter time. Oh, but it's the weekend. Oh, it's cold outside. A doctor does not care about that. An ER doctor will sign papers, will order labs for you. Insurance companies will take a copay 24 hours a day. I tell this to patients all the time. If they're going to do that, why would you take that risk on Christmas Day? Why would you eat a bunch of food on Christmas Day and then maybe continue that until New Year and risk high cholesterol and a heart attack? Why would you do that? Instead, if you can rewire this identity that you're looking for, whatever that looks like, all the time when nobody's watching you, you won't be affected by certain days, seasons, or months. It just doesn't work. You got to do it all the time. There's no time off. Number 5, calm consistency beats emotional intensity for transformation. Once again, go to the gym for 1 second every day and then leave. You're like, what do you mean leave? Well, at least you went there. You went into the gym. You don't have to go, you don't have to do anything, but you got to do it every day. And then let's walk into the gym and sit down on a machine for 1 second and then leave. I never said I was going to work out. I'm rewiring my identity. You keep on doing that with no time off. It'll help you. Instead of, oh man, but I'm going to eat a lot on Thanksgiving or Christmas and on the back end, I'm going to work out. No, it doesn't work like that. You got to do it all the time. I need to go to the gym for an hour. No, just go for a second, but you got to do it every day. That's the caveat, right? And going to the gym is an event, but you're only concerned about the 1 second. Okay, fine. Since I'm here, I'll work out. And I never want to work out. I never want to go to the gym. I just do it anyway. There might be some extremely rare times where I'm like, let's go, bro. I remember this one time where I was not feeling good and I had COVID, and it was maybe the 3rd day I had COVID. I didn't know what COVID was. It was like early 2020. At that time, I didn't know what it felt like. And I had to leave the gym. That was the only time I've ever left. And you have to understand that I don't want to ever work out. So if you were to give yourself this emotional intensity, it's too much. You just have to be consistent at the smallest level. The sympathetic nervous system is where chronic stress keeps the brain in threat detection mode or amygdala dominance. Mel Robbins talks about this too, where you want to access the prefrontal cortex as often as possible. Try to reduce the hits on the amygdala, bypass it as often as you can, or try to squeeze past it a little bit by writing. When you do have high sympathetic tone, your cortisol is increased, dopamine is dysregulated, the serotonin is suppressed, and the brain prioritizes short-term relief like addiction, avoidance, procrastination. And you cannot think your way out of a nervous system state like that. I'm so stressed out. What happens is that you have the hypothalamo-pituitary adrenal axis that's activated. You have the sympathetic nervous system that's activated. All these signals go to the adrenal gland, the adrenal cortex, and the adrenal medulla. And the adrenal cortex releases cortisol. The adrenal medulla has a catecholamine release of adrenaline, noradrenaline. And what happens is that you have a full amygdala activation, the emotional brain. Oh man, I'm so stressed out, but I gotta work out though. And then I'll just do it later. And then you want to quiet the amygdala down by something addictive. Let's say it's calling or blaming, calling a friend and complaining and blaming. Ice cream, I need a drink. I need to eat something. Oh, but I'll order pizza today. I'll feel better after that. No. What happens is that now what you're doing is you have this complete dysregulation and you're operating from a neurochemically dysfunctional nervous system. But when you're more relaxed and you just got to keep on doing it, the journey from self-hate to self-love took me about 5 years. I would say that, and there's no medical evidence to support this, but I would say that if you were to do this every single day and use David Bayer's technique, maybe my technique, or a lot of other people's techniques too. You just got to implement it on a regular basis. I would argue and say that if you don't write every day, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose that parasympathetic activity. you might be able to achieve a sovereign state, a semi-sovereign state in a year and a half. Because you have all of these things that are wired into your identity. You got to give yourself a long time. And I would argue and say in a year and a half, the journey begins. And when you get there, you got to figure out a way to stay there. Think about Michael Jordan. He was drafted in '84 and he won his first title in '90. Imagine that. It took that long. But when you win over and over and over again. And I listened to this audiobook by one of his personal trainers, Tim Grover. Tim Grover he's trained multiple athletes, and I listened to his audiobook. I'll do a review on that too. Great audiobook. Where he talks about when you're down, you have to win defense. If you're a cleaner, you got to keep on doing it when you even don't want to. But when you do and you stay down, you'll win over and over and over again. And that's what's happening in my life now. Is winning to me means that I don't hate myself. Okay? Like I don't hate myself. I don't eat sugar. I don't eat fatty food often. I make food. I eat things that I don't want to all the time to forward my mission. Now, when you're doing this, you're operating from the neurospiritual operating system is more sovereign. You're neurochemically consecrated. You're playing neurobiologic jiu-jitsu. I'm so stressed out, but this is what I'm going to do. Emotional calculus. You're having this intentional courage. Consecrated courage is what I call it. I'm just going to surrender. I'm never going to want to do it. I'm just going to do it anyway. Now, if you found value in this video, please subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'll be dropping videos Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on how you can believe in yourself every second when nobody's watching you. Please comment, share the video with anybody who needs to hear the message, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.